Okay, we are back.
Whoop.
This is season 5, episode 2.
Yes. And we're back with another hot topic. I am so excited about these hot topics. Just make me I'm
Excited.
excited.
So today's hot topic is talking about the 48 Oyster debacle.
Okay.
There's just so much to unpack here. I don't know where to start, but we'll get into it.
Okay, let's get into it. We need to go ahead and give us the background. I don't know why I can't stop laughing. This is hilarious to me. Okay, I'm listening.
Okay, so basically, we'll tell both sides of the story, I guess.
Ooh.
There is
Okay.
a female side and then a male side. Like they both told their stories on TikTok. So first with the male or the female. So she started the whole thing by posting the first video. So she says, like, in her words, this guy's been texting her, you know, texting her repeatedly. She's like not responding to him. I guess he wants to hang out. She's been kind of blowing him off, like not responding back. And then one day she's like, oh, well, actually, I want to, go out to eat today. So I'm going to like respond back to him and go get some oysters at this spot that I heard has good oysters or whatever. And like also, I want to make some content. I guess she's a content creator. I have no idea. So she decides to respond back to him, be like, yeah, let's go out, let's get some oysters. And they get there. Oh, but he was like, let's go for drinks. Like he invited her actually to go for drinks.
Yeah, I think that's a very, very important piece.
Yes.
His intentions was just drinks.
His intentions are just drinks. And she was like, oh, well, we can go to this oyster spot that has like, I guess, dozen oysters for $15 on this day or whatever. So I guess maybe he understood that he would be paying for like drinks and like a tray of oysters. So they get there, she's creating content. She's, ordering, it looks like lemon drops. Um, Maybe she had like two or three, it looks like. And she also in the middle of those had like trays of oysters just coming. So she ordered eventually 4 oyster trays. So that's a total of what, $60 just for the oysters, not including tax. And so she is sitting there eating the oyster trays, like slurping the oysters, like, you know, kind of just like, this is so good. Like she is like also like dressing them up. So she's got like hot sauce. She's got, I don't know what else she puts in oysters. I couldn't really tell. It was like maybe like lemon, like squeezing like lemons or something. Like she was like dressing them up, dousing them all, and then eating them and slurping them. Fast forward after she's done, we're thinking, okay, cool. She had her oysters. We had to sit through slurping for 5 seconds or whatever of this like fast forwarded clip. And but she's also like stacking the trays. So she's like stacked them all. She's like, we're like, okay, cool, she's done. Then she's like, oh, what else can I eat? So then she orders like crab cakes and potatoes. And the crab cakes, I am a crab cake person and like they look like they had a bunch of filler. Like, first of all, she's in like Atlanta, Georgia. So like there's not many like seafood like ports nearby, right? So the crab cakes don't even look good to me, but besides the point. And so then she fast forwards and says, like, oh, he went to the bathroom. Like, where's he at? It's been like 10, 20, 30 minutes. Like, where's he at? So he has left the restaurant. He left her with the tab. And so she texts him like, you're so crazy to like walk out on a tab, like what's wrong with you? And then he's like, I didn't expect that you were going to order all those oysters, like I'll send you money for drinks, for your drinks and mine, because that's what he expected to pay, I guess. And so she ended up just like saying, good thing I have money and keep money on me, I've got this or whatever. But he's like lame for that. Okay, end of her story. Then you get him coming on TikTok, like I guess days later, and he's saying like, well, first of all, like I didn't even like text her like that much. I texted her like 2 times and that was it. I was hoping to take her out and then maybe like have a little fun after and maybe spend like $60 total for drinks and maybe like the one oyster tray. And then he's just kind of saying like she's kind of sitting there eating the oyster, slurping and burping the whole time. And then she's like recording and I'm getting kind of like grossed out and like whatever. So he has like his escape plan and he says, I felt bad a little bit for like leaving or whatever, but like I had to do it. And so he ends up saying like, but I was being a gentleman by sending her money. I said, I'll send you money for drinks. And I was trying to be like a gentleman at the end, but we're done. Right. So that's kind of like the story, like the two perspectives of like what's happened with the situation and like how the two sides go.
Mhm. Very good. Yeah, and we will have the TikToks linked. So if you haven't come across them and you want to see firsthand, she was very descriptive. So we will caution you with her language and the slurping, the burping, the moaning, the groaning that took place during this oyster debacle as she ate them. And as Ariel mentioned, it was the fast forward version. So I can just imagine how it was to experience the entirety of her eating them all 48.
Like sitting there and watching her eat 4 trays of oysters.
Because it's rough, just the however many seconds that we get to see in the video, see and hear.
Yeah.
Not even see, the hearing of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm. Okay. All right. So, why is this a hot topic, right? Someone going on a date, eating oysters. How does this become a hot topic that we are now talking about on our podcast? It should not be a hot topic. This should be everyday occurrence.
Yeah. A nice date,
Yeah.
getting drinks and oysters, like 12.
Yeah.
And so I think what happened was like, from what I understand, is that people were just kind of like really grossed out. Like, I think the biggest thing was like the slurping. Like, that's what I heard the most. Like her just like ordering all those like and stacking the trays, like slurping and stacking trays. And then just like recording the whole thing. Like that was just like mind blowing to some people, I think. Um,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah. So no slurping, no stacking, ladies, and gentlemen.
Right.
And I think even before that, just the lack of communication and disrespect of, okay, this is what we agreed upon, right? Because at first, I'll be 100% honest, Ariel knows when I heard about this story, I did not have all the information. All I knew was people were upset about her eating so much. And I was like, because I like to eat. I'll throw that out there. And so I was like, I don't understand what the problem is. I don't get it. But then I understood differently after, it was thrown out there, like they were only supposed to be going for drinks,
Mhm.
right? And I'm like, oh, hold on, honey. You threw some extra stuff and then some extra in there as well, right? So it was too much. It was way too much. And not only did you eat all this stuff, you were not ladylike at all and not even human like, as he said. I think he referred to her as a lion,
Yeah, or something. Yeah, like you're
some
like,
type of animal.
yeah,
I wouldn't say that she was animal-like, but the sound effects was very disturbing, to say the least.
yeah.
Um, it gave me very sexual, which is just very disturbing, to say the least. Um, yeah.
Yeah. I think like I felt like he was a gentleman to offer to pay. Like he could have ignored her messages and not even responded. Like he did leave, which is not okay. But it's like he was like, I'll cash app you like I don't know, 20, $30 or whatever for like the drinks. And I'm sorry that I left. I guess he felt bad, maybe. I don't know. But he at least
Is there
offered.
is there a better way that he could have? I mean, we know all the different ways that she could have handled herself, but is there a better way that he could have handled, like when she hit tray number two, could he have been like, hey, just want to reiterate that, I'm here for drinks. Hey, and it may be a humorous way, like, hey, you got them trays, you got that money for them trays you'll need. I don't know.
I don't know if there's like a humorous way to put that. Like how do you say that without sounding like an a-hole?
I mean, and that's the thing. I think sometimes there's such a big fear of sounding a certain way that people just don't communicate at all, right? And I think sometimes not communicating at all is being the biggest a-hole,
Hmm.
because you know how you feel, and then you end up doing stuff like walking out, which is completely like not okay.
Yeah.
Um, when you could have just said how you felt, right? And so would him have speaking up maybe changed her from eating 4 trays to maybe just 2 or 1? We don't know. um but I think I think he could have in that moment, used his skills to communicate with her. We don't know if he actually did. The video doesn't really let us know a lot as far as what the vibe was between them, right? It really just seems like she was just there to eat her oysters. She was very focused on that and that alone, right? So I'm always curious. I always have a lot of questions, and so I'm like, was they vibing? He in his video, he's like, I had the intentions of taking her out, spend about $60, and then maybe having some extracurricular activities happen, right? And then when she started cutting up, he was like, oh, no, 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 right? He was completely turned off, you know which I think that says a lot, right? Because um for him to have the original intentions that he had, and then just by her behavior at dinner for him to remove what that off the table says a lot, right? Because society as a whole would paint the picture of a man to be like, regardless, he's gonna get that opportunity, or excuse me, take that opportunity regardless if
Mhm.
it's given to him. But this man was like, I don't want it if it's given to me or not, and I'm gonna bounce right now. Like, I am so turned off by this. I don't want that later on happy ending, even if it's given to me, offered to me, thrown at me. I don't care.
But can you like imagine like the breath? Like I don't know. Like he said she was burping and like who like, it's just a lot and like presentation matters like especially on a first date. Like once again, do you take him seriously or not? Like are you just going out with him because you want free food, right? Like are you planning on seeing him later or another time? Probably not the way she was like, showing herself with the
Yeah.
burping and slurping. Like maybe just didn't care enough to about what he thought about you.
Yeah. And so, like, to piggyback off our last episode, and so if you haven't watched it or listened to it, Corkies, please do. Last episode we talked about the cheesecake scandal, right? And so we had a woman in that situation where she thought so worthy of herself, where she wouldn't even go into the restaurant, right? And then we have this woman who actually made it to a restaurant, but then her behavior just makes her look so poorly, right? And so, kind of, we've taken 2 losses, women. Oh, I always think about how I don't know if everyone knows, our listeners, little Duval, he's like taking score of people, like we're up men or we're down men. I don't
Oh
know.
yeah.
I'm like, hey, we're down women, like we're not doing too good right now,
I like
right?
women.
Yeah, the men are up right now. And so I just it's I don't know, maybe I'm not in the dating streets enough. Um I I don't know. I know you're not, so maybe we're not the best experts about what is going out and here, and why people are maybe choosing or not choosing to conduct themselves in a way. Maybe there's a deeper issue of why people are maybe being so strict or maybe so loose in how they are conducting themselves. But I do think that there is a deeper issue going on to where we need to really take a hard look at, okay, we need to get back to some sense of normalcy or etiquette when it comes to dating, because we are not doing good as a whole. And the men seem to be having it more together than us,
Yeah.
which is weird. I don't know how this shift happened. What's
And
going on?
I'm sure there's people out there who are doing like how they should, right? It's just the ones
Yeah.
that become popular and go viral are the ones that are like this, right? And so
Stop recording. Stop recording these things.
and both of them recorded themselves. Like it wasn't like someone put them out on blast. Like they put themselves out on blast. So
And I'm so happy you said that, right? So I'm just saying, like, stop recording it, right? But you're like, they put themselves on blast, right? And think about it like this: the men in both situations could have outed these women, but
mhm.
they still chose to protect these women, right? They might have said something to their homeboys or friends or whatever, right? But they didn't go on social media knowing that these women had recorded them and like, let me go beat them to the punch, or let me do my own recording and go live and be like, I just had this worst date ever, right? It was only after these women still chose to post or still go on and do whatever, that they, came forward, right? And so that, I think that part is still interesting too. Like, we're doing this to ourselves to a certain extent.
Mhm.
And how did we come to this place to where we are subjecting ourselves to this kind of scrutiny?
Yeah. Yeah. And like what's the rest of the story, right? So like we don't really know like what happened. Like was he trying to talk to her at dinner and trying to make conversation? Like who knows? Like was there time for conversation? Like we don't know because the way it's like edited and everything, but it's like I don't know, like you don't know really the whole story from her video. All you know is like that her perspective and it's like where is the video of just the content, right? She never posted a video of the restaurant content. So it's like for to my knowledge at least. So it's like if this is only for your content, like and not for like, to go viral about this guy, like where's the other video? Like what was
Mhm.
the true intention there with
Good
making
point.
this video?
Good point. Like, okay, where's the content? Let's see the content. And then was he even aware that there's content being like, was he included in that? Like, hey, I'm gonna go on this date with you, but is it okay if I get some content as well? Right? Because that
Mhm.
can be feeling invasive as well to
Yeah.
someone.
And maybe her idea of content is what she posted. Like maybe this is her content. Like some people, their content is like just about the food in the restaurant and the ambiance or whatever. But this may have been her idea of a content, like put somebody on blast. Like, but that's not okay.
Hmm. I didn't think about that. Or what is it called? I might get the letters messed up. SMR, where people like purposely like
ASMR.
slurping. Oh, thank you. So yes, when they're purposely slurping and like really indulging in their food. And there's a whole like population of people that really find that enjoyable to watch and listen to.
So I've noticed that like a lot of the videos and content right now, like even like getting ready content, people like don't have any music and they just have like oh, they're opening their like water. So they hear like the water opening or they're like popping open like something in the kitchen. Like all of it is like elevating like the noises like from what they're doing.
Mhm.
Maybe that is what she was trying to do a little bit. Like, have you watched those videos recently with the content where like they're getting ready in the morning? So they're like brushing their teeth and so they're turning off the faucet and then they're like, have you seen those?
No, I need, well, maybe I haven't. I just didn't pay attention to those aspects of it. Because,
Mhm.
I'm so visual that the hearing part of it, because I'm like, oh, I like that bag. Oh, I'm
Yeah.
probably like, instead of like listening to the toothbrush, I'm like, oh, that's a really cute toothbrush. I hope they link it in the bio like that.
Yes.
That's
They'll
what
be
I'm
like,
doing.
mhm. it's like get ready with me for work, my like getting ready routine, like going to the gym and like whatever. And they'll be like zipping up a backpack or like board like making coffee and like all the noises are elevated, but like nothing else really is. So it's like maybe that's what she's the vibe she was going for with like the slurping and like everything stacking in
Mhm.
the trays. But then also like when you ordered the next tray, did the waiter not say like, let me take this away? Or did she like tell them like, no, leave it there? You know what I mean? Like was she was the intention to have like 4 trays at the end of the video?
So happy you said something because I that's been on the tippy of my tongue, but I said I'm not gonna go there. I ain't gonna be the one. So I'm glad you went out there.
Why?
Huh?
Why
Because
don't you want to go there?
I was like, why is these? Because me, I'm like, I don't want all the trade. Like, I need some room. I just think about like eating seafood. Period. Like we know when you like when we go, like it's a whole thing. So like, why do you want all this extra stuff on your table? Like,
Yeah.
get rid of it as more is coming. So the fact that you want to sit there and stack, like, I think it was very purposeful that she did that. Like, let me see what I accomplished. Like, how many can I really knock out? Like, unless you just had a really lazy waiter, but like you just like as the waiter's bringing them, like they could have just took them. Like, it does not make any sense why those things were stacked up like that, other than the fact that you wanted them to be like that.
Yeah. It's like an attention thing, right? Like a lot of people out here are access too.
Okay, so what is access to?
You know, they portray attention seeking behavior.
So in my life, in my bubble, a lot of these attention seekers don't know that they're attention seeking. Do you find that to be the same for your bubble?
You mean
In
like
your
in personal life?
yeah, work life, personal life, just
I don't know. Like
my country, my state.
I don't know, I guess. I haven't thought about it like that. Like I guess I kind of just assumed that like maybe they chose to be that way or like they wanted to be attention seeking. Like I don't know. Like I haven't thought too much about it, but it's like the behavior that I see is
Mhm.
that.
I don't think these people think that they are attention seeking. And I've even come across some that get the attention and don't understand why they're getting so much attention and don't like that they're getting. And I'm like, but you're doing certain things that are attracting attention to you. Do you not understand that?
Yeah,
So it baffles me, but I agree with you 100% that this is definitely attention seeking behavior. You can't be a content creator and not want attention.
that's true. That's the point of making content, kind of, like you want people to see it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and especially depending on your content, right? Um, like, are you like you just mentioned earlier, right? We haven't seen the actual content, right? And so, is your content we don't know. I don't know. Maybe we do know. We just didn't do, a good, we didn't find it. But like it say this particular person's content is food, like you said, or restaurants or whatever. Do we never see you and we only see the focus being just the restaurant, just the food, the reviews, right? Then it's less attention seeking because you really are honed in and focused on that product or those places, right? But this video does not give off that impression that you really are focused on the content. The content really seems to be you, right? And I think sometimes people blur the lines of when they say they're content creators and they don't realize that they are the content themselves. And they wouldn't get the ad the what is not the ad spend, but the who the affiliate marketing and things like that and get the money if without their piece, their personality playing into the mix,
Yeah.
right? If they were posting pizza all day long, no one would care. But it's the little pizzazz that they put in it that
Mhm.
actually makes it something different. And so I wonder if she's realizing that, like, it can turn it on and it can turn it off. And right now, what she's done has not completely, but it has turned herself off from a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, there's good attention and there's, you know, bad attention. So it's like, which one do you want, right?
Mhm.
This is kind of like bad attention. Like she is getting like promoted and like it's gone viral, but it's like no one's talking about it in a good way. And so maybe that's what she wants or doesn't care, but it's like, you know, like you got to think about those things.
Mhm. I would love to talk to someone one day who's gone viral.
Yeah.
And like especially viral for something not good. Yeah, I can just only imagine um what that kind of how that affects your life, right? Like we talked about in our last episode, like is this lady going to be able to like now walk around and not be noticed, right? Your face is all over the internet now.
Mhm.
Um, and so thinking about like this lady, like oh, we ended last time with moral of the story, like let's be kinder to people. Let's stop recording ourselves. And I think it's a similar kind of story this time. Like, stop recording yourself. But I think for me, this go round, it's more of communication,
Mhm.
right? I'm not mad at her eating, right? Eat your food, girl, right? I don't think this would be a topic of conversation if she was not on a date with this dude, if she was with her homegirls and she went and she ordered her own food and she paid for her own drinks and meal and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Um, because she went on a date and the agreement was we're going for drinks. This is our first time meeting up. That's where she went south. And not only that, but then how she presented herself. And I would say textbook unladylike manner. Right. And that's not okay.
Yeah.
Your thoughts?
You nailed it. I mean, that's what I was thinking too. You know, like I don't have a problem with her eating oysters or eating 48 oysters, but it's kind of like how things were executed. And then just like the attitude in the video, like the cursing and like talking about him like in a negative way, even from like the beginning, like before she even ate the oysters, you know, it was just like the attitude and the rudeness, like be kind to people and like just be nice.
Yes. We need a win, ladies. Corkies, if y'all know someone who's out here doing it right, dating, I'm a fan of dating. We need to date so we can collect that data, but we need to do it the right way. So
Mhm.
I hope everyone's being safe. We're actually dating, we're collecting that data, um, and doing it the right way. Ooh, we need a win.
Thank you for listening.